what's up? Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be yet another sorority recruitment video. This one is going to be a little bit different because it's going to be talking all about virtual recruitment, and I of course don't really know too much about this myself just because it is the first time that it has ever been done due to the current situations in the world. I go to Florida State University, and if you're seeing this, this is because Florida State just recently announced their Pan-Hellenic plans for the upcoming recruitment season this fall, and I wanted to share those plans with you guys and then give you a little bit of an overview of what that would look like, and then some tips that I have for virtual recruitment, since of course that is going to be a lot different than in-person recruitment that everybody's used to. So the Pan-Hellenic community at Florida State University has just announced that recruitment for the fall of 2020 is going to be a hybrid of in-person and online. There's a lot of schools that have announced their plans for recruitment this year, but a lot of schools are still deciding what to do, so I'm going to let you know of what a virtual recruitment kind of could look like. Of course, it's going to be different depending on what school you go to. Again, I go to Florida State, and this is our current plan. The first thing I want to say is that there's likely to be a lot more girls going through recruitment this year. This is something that I've heard from a few different schools, but specifically Florida State, there's been a lot more girls registering just because of the whole pandemic. They want to kind of make up their high school experience that they lost in those last few months and take that and make it up with joining a sorority in college. So getting on into the video, a lot of schools are requiring you to make an introduction video, or like kind of making you submit one for their application for recruitment. Florida State is not doing this. If you do go to another school where they're asking you to do this, I'm going to talk a little bit about that just so that you can be prepared for that as well. One thing I would definitely say is come up with what you're planning on saying before you film the video. It's nice to have a script, but you don't want it to seem too scripted where you're basically like reading from something. But come up with just like bullet points of what you are planning to say so that you don't forget what to say in a video. But also remember, it is a video. You can totally edit it if you mess up at all. So if you stumble over your words, don't worry about that. So easy to cut out and kind of edit. Anybody can do it, and it's super easy. So definitely come up with bullet points, but if you do mess up, don't worry about that. It's a video, not live. You honestly kind of have an advantage of making the video because it's not live. So if you mess up, it's not the end of the world. Of course, it wouldn't be the end of the world if it was live, but you can definitely edit out any mistakes that you say, or if you decide you didn't want to put that in the video, it's super easy to just cut that out. The next thing I would say is think of it as a YouTube video. I know not everybody's a YouTuber, but make sure you have good lighting. If you don't have a huge ring light like I'm using right now, it's so easy to just stand in front of your window and use natural lighting. Natural lighting actually looks 10 times better than this artificial lighting that you see right now. Also, if you don't have a huge camera, again, just filming with your phone is perfectly fine. Most of your favorite YouTubers probably started their YouTube channel by using their own phone. I know that's what I did. It's still gonna look amazing, and most of the other girls that are submitting videos are also gonna be using their phone, so they know not to judge people if you don't have videos that look like James Charles. The girls that are doing recruitment and looking at your videos are not going to be worried about what your video looks like or how high quality it is. Just definitely work with what you're given, use natural lighting, and be yourself. Make your appearance nice, sit in a nice background, something that doesn't have a lot going on in the background. For example, I wouldn't recommend this because they're probably just going to be staring at pictures of movies on my wall. Try and sit somewhere where it kind of shows off your personality, but it's also like not too distracting. If the background's too distracting, they're probably going to be focusing on what's in the background versus focused on your face, which is something that's super important, and they should be wanting to look at you. If it is optional for your school, I would definitely say to do it anyways. That's going to make you stand out, and if something's optional, I would say always do it, just because it's kind of a nicer way of saying like, please do it, like we really recommend it. Like that's like saying in a job interview like a cover letter is recommended but not required. Do the cover letter. So for this, definitely I would say film the video, even if it's only optional. It'll make you stand out, and it'll make the girls get to be able to know you before your actual virtual recruitment process starts. Again, Florida State University will not be doing the video portion, so that means no videos will be accepted. Don't worry about doing a video if you go to Florida State or are planning to go to Florida State and rushing there in this upcoming fall 2020 year. Now I'm going to give you guys the overview of what the recruitment process will look like this year at Florida State. Again, it's going to be different at every school, so don't take my word for this if you go to a different school. Definitely look up their Pan-Hellenic website and see what they're planning on doing. because I'm sure that they have been planning this whole summer for you guys. So right now at Florida State, the orientation is going to be 100% online. So for the orientation, basically this is just going to be an overview of what to expect for recruitment week. I'm sure that orientation is going to be super important this year. Of course it's important every year, but more so important this year because it's virtual, and again, nobody really knows what to expect. So definitely pay attention for the online orientation. So for round one, which is scholarship round at Florida State, they are going to be doing this 100% online, which means you're going to be talking to the women of the sorority 100% online through some sort of online platform and having your conversation through there. So for round two, as of now, it's going to be a hybrid of online and in person. This means that some of the houses you go to could be online and some of them could be in person. It just depends on how they're planning on spacing everybody out in order to still comply with the CDC guidelines of staying 6 feet apart and trying to be as cautious as possible as there is a pandemic going on right now. Round 3 and round 4 are both planning on being completely in person and completely socially distanced as well. And then of course there's bid day, and these plans have actually not been finalized yet, but again, keep updated with the website and the social medias, and I'm sure they'll be sending out info as it gets closer, so definitely stay up to date with those. So while these are the current plans, again, they could change at any given moment because this pandemic is completely and totally unpredictable. As more people register for recruitment, more rounds or potentially all of the rounds could go online, just so that we are staying up to date with the CDC guidelines that were set in place. And of course, if the pandemic has another outbreak or cases start to spike any more than they already are, then everything will be online again. I also want to say there will still be a recruitment guide available for every single potential new member. Even during the online rounds, each PNM will be paired with a recruitment guide, and you'll get paired with your groups as recruitment gets closer. And then of course, I just want to say this again, that during the in-person rounds, all CDC guidelines will still be followed, so every single woman must be 6 feet apart at all times. So now that we've talked about all the online rounds and what that little overview will look like, I want to talk about just some tips that I came up with for going forward with virtual recruitment. The first thing I would say is to still look as presentable as possible. Again, kind of as if you're filming a YouTube video or starting a YouTube channel, you want to still look as presentable as possible. This doesn't mean wearing loads and loads of makeup, but definitely have your appearance in mind, as it's still going to be the first impression that all of these women are getting from you. So really try and make your appearance the best that it can be, and just present yourself in your best way possible. Again, do whatever makes you comfortable. If you don't like wearing makeup or you don't like doing certain things and don't feel the need to do it, you want whatever chapter you go to love you for who you are, so definitely wear whatever you feel comfortable wearing and whatever fits you best and fits your personality and style best. Still definitely wear cute clothes, but also keep in mind they're going to be seeing you from the top up. So right now I'm wearing this cute black top, but on the bottom I'm literally wearing leggings with no shoes. So definitely keep in mind this is probably about where they're going to be seeing you from. So try and focus on, you know, jewelry, necklace, some earrings, whatever. Focus on your hair, and then if you wear makeup, and then just a cute little top or dress or whatever will fit you the best. So of course, make sure you have a webcam of some sort. Most laptops come with a camera in them, and that will be totally and completely perfectly fine. But if you have a laptop or a desktop that doesn't have a camera on it, make sure to buy a webcam. I'll link some down below. They're actually super affordable. I think they're like 20 to 30 bucks. There's probably some cheaper ones. I'll put a link to some down below so that you guys have options just in case your current setup doesn't have a camera, because this is obviously going to be super important. Since it's virtual, you're still going to be seeing and talking to the girls, and you want them to be able to see your faces too. You can also totally use like an iPad or an iPhone if you don't have a laptop or anything, so just keep that in mind too. You're totally not going to be picky with whatever device you're using. Another thing is just don't spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on equipment, because you're only going to be using it for a few days. It's really not that deep. All you need is literally some sort of webcam or laptop to do the thing on. All the girls that are recruiting you know how crazy of a time this is, so they're not going to be judging you on your setup and how expensive it is or anything like that. They're going through the same thing too, and they're going to be on the other side of the camera with their equipment too, so they know that it's really not that deep, and the setups may not be perfect because it's a crazy time right now. Kind of similar to the intro video I was talking about earlier, make sure you're sitting in front of somewhere with really good lighting. If you don't have access to like somewhere with like a perfect ring light, because that's like not a normal thing to have access to, definitely just sit in front of a huge window. And if you have a party that's late at night, then honestly just like your lighting from your bedroom or your house or wherever is going to be perfectly fine. If you're not crazy about any of the backgrounds that you have in your bedroom or your house or your dorm or wherever you're doing virtual recruitment from, you could totally make like your own Zoom background or something. Like just find a random like Pinterest of a bedroom on Pinterest or something and put it behind you on Zoom, or make something fun and creative. Like, and it's a good time to like get unique with your things. So if you don't like any of your backgrounds, definitely consider doing a virtual Zoom background. That could be super fun, and I feel like definitely the sororities would love to see that. That's also something that would definitely make you stand out 100%. So most of you guys will probably be doing this portion of virtual recruitment from your dorm room, because at Florida State at least, all the girls do move in to their dorms prior to recruitment week. So again, plan out a background that is a little bit less busy and won't take away from you and your face and your style and whatever you're talking about. I would also say do a practice run before. Set up your laptop or your webcam or whatever you're using, set it up with the background, make sure the audio is working, do a practice run to make sure everything is gonna go smoothly, so that when you actually are doing recruitment, you'll be perfect and you'll be a pro by then. If you're in the room with your roommate or somebody that is also going through recruitment, definitely use headphones so that you don't like feel pressure to talk about something or something like that. I don't know, just use headphones. It's supposed to be like a personal experience and everybody has their own experience. So I would definitely say if you're in the room with somebody who's also going through recruitment, maybe one of you like go to the study room or go somewhere where like you guys won't be talking at the same time, because I can see that definitely being an issue and being super distracting to you and the girl that is recruiting you. The next thing I'm going to talk about is researching chapters. Since you won't be able to meet the chapters in person until potentially the third round, social media and websites are definitely going to be your best friend for this virtual recruitment process. So every single chapter at Florida State has a website and also social media platforms. I'll link them all down below, and I'll also link the Plan Hellenic website where all of the chapters are listed, so you can definitely check out all of their social media platforms, since again, you won't be able to see them until pretty far into recruitment. Their website contains their philanthropy and just more of an overview about their chapter and their missions and their morals and everything that they kind of stand for and value, while their social media platform shows kind of all their fun things with their events that they do, a look into the girls' lives and what they kind of do outside of sorority life and outside of school life. So both are definitely worth checking out, and they both show kind of a different side of the sorority. Both are sides that are super important and should definitely go into your decision when choosing a sorority. Some chapters have more than Instagram and Facebook and their website. A lot also have Pinterest or Viscos or Twitters, so definitely that is worth checking out. Those should all be linked on their website or on their social media platforms to check out. I would also recommend taking a look at every single chapter's Instagram account or social media accounts just before round one, so you kind of have an idea in your head of what each chapter could look like and what you can expect from each one. So I'm going to talk about your application now and how to kind of set yourself apart. Think of your application as a LinkedIn profile or an application for a job, honestly. You want to be professional, but you also want to be able to portray yourself in the best way possible. Use a professional picture of some sort, like a headshot or something. Don't use a group picture. You'd be surprised at how many people send in their recruitment applications with like a group picture of 5 or 6 people, and it's like, okay, but which one are you? Like, you know, send one in where it's just yourself, you look really nice, and yeah, think of it again as a LinkedIn application. You want something pretty professional. Include everything you were involved with in high school or college so far, any kind of leadership activities you had, any organizations or activities you were involved in. These are all super important, and the sororities want to get to know what you were involved in and kind of what your hobbies and interests are. Be honest with your GPA. Something, again, so easy to check back and make sure that you're telling the truth. So if you lie about your GPA, don't. They'll find out, and that would just not be good. So just be honest with your GPA, honestly. Be honest with your hobbies and what you are looking to do outside of school. They love to know kind of what every girl loves to do and what their interests are. The application is probably going to ask what you're looking to get out of Greek life, so this is something that is super important, and be honest with that too. For me, I just really wanted to be able to make friends in college, and that was something that was super important to me, and I always kind of knew that I wanted to do sorority recruitment. I was really excited to get involved with the philanthropy and something that the sorority stood for, and yeah, that was super fun to talk about in the application and something that is super important too. Definitely be descriptive with all of your answers because again, since it's virtual, the application is going to be especially important this year so that they can get to know you so much better. Make sure to also fill out all of the questions and present your best self on the application before they meet you online and then in person. The next thing I'm going to talk about is letters of recommendation. These are not required at all, but they are definitely optional and you can totally do them if you want. They in no way, shape, or form do guarantee your spot in a sorority, so get that rumor out of your head right now. Gives a sorority a heads up about you and tells them a little bit about you so they kind of know what to expect when they do finally meet you, and yeah, it in no way, shape, or form solidifies your spot with the chapter, so definitely don't worry if you don't have one at all. The majority of women actually don't have recommendation letters and they still get into a chapter. I had a recommendation letter for about half of the chapters but not the other half, so again, totally doesn't matter at all. I also have first generation sorority women in my family. My dad and my grandpa were in fraternities, but I am the first person in my family to be in a sorority, so that's kind of cool. I didn't have any direct family members to help me out with it, and I'm still perfectly fine and in a sorority that I love. If you're like me where you don't have any family members to directly help you out with it, definitely post something on Facebook or get your mom or grandma or dad or whoever to post something on Facebook. Be like, hey, my daughter's going through recruitment this year. She's looking for letters of recommendation for these following chapters. Let me know if you or anybody you know were in the chapter and can write her a letter of recommendation, and simple as that. That's where I got most of my letters of rec from, and it worked out perfectly for me. They're probably gonna email you or maybe want to talk to you before they write you their letter of rec, just so they know kind of what you're about. For me, they would all email me or text me and I'd send them my resume so they knew what to tell the chapter I was involved with and stuff like that. Also keep in mind that each organization has a different requirement for who's allowed to write a letter of rec. Some allow you to be an active member and write letters of recommendation, but some require you to be an alumni, which means you're not currently in the chapter, but you graduated. So definitely keep that in mind if somebody says no. They just might not be allowed because of those certain chapters rules. Also, just be sure to send thank yous out to everybody that wrote you a letter of rec. I just emailed everybody after recruitment week and said, hey, thank you so much for writing the letters of rec. I ended up with Alpha Chi Omega at Florida State. I'm so excited. Thank you again for your help. It meant so much to me, blah, 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 blah. Find out how to submit each of these letters of rec for Florida State at each individual chapter profile on their website. The next thing I'm gonna talk about is just a little bit during recruitment. I'm making a whole entire separate video all about tips I have for recruitment, and that's gonna be a longer video with a lot more in-depth tips. So I'll have that link down below or up there if it's already uploaded, but definitely check out for that. So my biggest thing is to take notes from each round. This is something that helped me literally the most. Right after I left every house, I would pull out my phone, log into the notes app, and just jot down everything I remembered. The girl I talked to, what she was wearing, this is something that helped me so I could be like, oh, she was wearing a yellow dress, and then kind of remember our conversation based on that. I'm a really visual person, so that might not help everybody, but it definitely did help me. I would talk about a little bit about our conversation, what I liked, what I didn't like, if I vibed with any of the other girls I saw in the room or any of the other girls I talked to, stuff like that. Just kind of write down every single thing you remember. I promise you it's going to become so handy because as you visit more and more houses, you're going to start to forget the conversations you have, so it's nice to look back at the notes and be like, oh, I remember I did like them, or oh, I didn't really love them that much, you know? Totally the best piece of advice I have. I also just want to say that while every school and sometimes even specific chapters are going to do something different for virtual recruitment, these are the general tips and guidelines that I have for what a potential virtual recruitment could look like, whether you go to Florida State or you go to a different school. I would definitely say that in conclusion, treat this entire virtual recruitment process as a job interview or an internship interview or something like that. You want to be professional but still present yourself with your own personality, your own style, everything like that, because in the end, that is what you're joining a sorority for yourself and to be able to be yourself. So you should be able to be yourself whether you're doing it virtual or doing it in person. And yeah, that is all I have for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope it was somewhat helpful. I know it's a crazy time and I'm still learning about virtual recruitment as well. So leave any questions you guys have down below or any other videos you guys want to see. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you and I will see you in my next video. Bye!